ABC Action News Plus. It's local news available anywhere at any time for free. Just download ABC Action News Plus on your favorite device to watch our 24/7 streaming news channel.
ABC Action News Plus is sponsored by Culpeper Curland.
From Tampa Bay streaming news leader, this is ABC Action News.
President Donald Trump officially sworn in as the 47th President of the United States, beginning a second term that many expect to be different from the first. We'll break down what orders the new president has already put into place coming up, and an emotional return for Israeli families whose loved ones were taken hostage by Hamas on the October 7th attacks. Coming up, what is now next for that ceasefire deal in the Middle East? Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Agrone. This is ABC Action News Plus. A father who spent the last 20 years serving his country in the Coast Guard was hit and killed January 8th while attempting to cross Tampa Road in Palm Harbor. His daughter has been tending to his memorial out there ever since. And ABC Action News anchor Heather Lee tells us the request she now has for the community. Donald Trump is now the second president in U.S. history to serve a second term non-consecutively. He was sworn into the Oval Office yesterday. Supporters, cabinet members, lawmakers, and the 4 other living presidents all gathered inside the Capitol Rotunda to watch.
Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable.
The day was filled with events across Washington, D.C., including a first honors ceremony to celebrate all branches of the U.S. military. During his speech in the Rotunda, Trump laid out an ambitious agenda to tackle what he calls an immigration crisis, including declaring a national emergency at the U.S. southern border.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
President Donald Trump later holding an inauguration parade at Capital One Arena for his supporters. The day was concluded by the president and the First Lady, Melania Trump, attending 3 inaugural presidential balls. Meanwhile, President Trump wasting no time moving forward with his agenda, signing a wave of executive orders and actions on his first day back in office. It includes pardoning defendants charged in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. ABC's Perry Russum has more from Capitol Hill. We move next here to the Middle East and the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. 3 Israeli hostages are now back home in Israel after they were released from Hamas captivity. Israel released 90 Palestinian prisoners as part of that ceasefire deal that is expected to last for at least 6 weeks. One of the hostages, Emily Damari, posted on Instagram, quote, "Thank you. I'm happiest in the world simply to exist."
We're not forgetting that this deal is so fragile. And we must make sure that it goes through until the very end, until the very last hostage.
More than 46,000 have died in Gaza, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. The next release of hostages is set for this Saturday. Meanwhile, 2 Americans are freed after being held for years in Afghanistan. The Taliban released them as part of a prisoner exchange struck in the final hours of former President Joe Biden's time in office. Ryan Corbett's family says he was a prisoner for 894 days. He worked for a non-governmental organization in Afghanistan before the Taliban took over in 2021. He returned there for a work trip in 2022 and was detained. William McKinty is the other American who was freed. Right now, little is known about him. Sunshine State is seeing some of the coldest weather we've experienced in years. Parts of the Panhandle and North Florida could see snow and ice over the next 2 days. We go to Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders in Tallahassee to see how state officials are already responding.
Well, guys, we just got done hearing from the governor. He spoke for about 30 or so minutes about what the state has been doing to prepare. And I think the top line here is that they've been spending days getting ready for this winter weather. Obviously, it's not something that we're accustomed to here in the Sunshine State, but they spent about 10 days getting prepared. One of the things that the governor mentioned at the start of the press conference was that we always thought that Blizzard Beach was just a theme park in Orlando. Unfortunately, it seems like we are going to see maybe even some substantial snowfall in portions of Florida's northern panhandle, right? Specifically with regards to prep, I want to go through some of the things that the state has done. Number one is that they are really requiring everyone to just pay attention. They're asking people to pay attention to this northern portion of the Sunshine State. This is where we have the winter storm warning in effect. I'm doing my best meteorologist impression right now. And this is where the concern is. We've got maybe a potential of 2 to 4 inches of snowfall, ice associated with that. I'm from Iowa originally. I am familiar with this kind of weather, and when you get ice and snow mixed together, it can be nasty situation, especially on the roads, which is why the state officials here at the EOC, the governor, the Division of Emergency Management Director, they're all urging people to not travel if they don't have to. If you don't have to be on the roads, don't go out in them, because, you know, everybody seems to think, hey, I've got a truck, it's got 4-wheel drive, I can handle whatever Mother Nature throws at you. No, when you've got ice in the mix, all 4 tires, they just slip at the same time. So 4-wheel drive is not going to save you out there. It's going to help you with the snow, but that ice can be really tricky. And in some areas, we could see maybe a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch of ice on power lines, on roadways, and that stuff will stay on the road as long as it's cold. So the state has been doing everything it can. Along the I-10 corridor and portions of I-75, they are doing pre-treatment, right? What is that? That's basically a salty, briny mix that they spray down on the road, lowers the freezing temperature of the water to make sure that the ice doesn't accumulate best that they can. Now, we do not have a huge fleet of snowplows here in the Sunshine State. In fact, we found out today the Sunshine State does have a few snowplows, not a whole bunch. We're not talking about 20 or 30. We're talking about 11. They've got 11 snowplows. It's a big state. So 11 isn't going to cut it except for the most vital areas of travel. So portions of I-10, portions of I-75, and bridges. Bridges are getting pre-treated as well, because what can happen is the wind can whip underneath the bridge. It can make it a lot colder, and that can freeze any water or moisture that's up on top of that bridge, make it a slippery situation. So that's one of the reasons why they are getting pre-treated. We also have generators on standby, because traffic signals, their computer systems, they can freeze up, or if power goes down, you want to make sure you can get those signals back up as soon as possible. A little quick tip from me, a Midwesterner. Here's how you deal with snow when you're out driving. If you have to drive, you give yourself a lot of stopping distance, right? 2 or 3 times the stopping distance. Go slower than the speed limit. You don't even have to go the speed limit. Go underneath that best you can, because you're going to slide. You just are. It's what's going to happen. And you got to make sure that you're not going to collide into whoever or whatever's in front of you. Give yourself a lot of space. If you're going to be scraping off your car tomorrow morning, here's another tip for you. Don't use hot water. Don't take a big jug of hot water and pour it on your windshield. That's just going to cause it to shatter. That's what happens. You get a little tiny crack in there. The glass expands really quick and you get a crack. So don't do that either. Believe me, I've got 30 years of experience up in this miserable tundra we call Iowa. You don't want to deal with it down here, especially if you're on your way to work. But right now, again, the state says it's prepared best it can be. Don't expect widespread power outages. They think they'll probably be isolated where we get the most ice. But just stay in, stay safe. And remember, there is a potential for this to be the highest snowfall on record here in the Sunshine State. I think the previous record was something like 4 inches or so, and that was back in the 1950s. We could see 6 inches in some isolated pockets of the state. That would be historic. So if you do have the opportunity, if you're off work, off school, go outside, maybe enjoy a little bit of snowfall, because it's rare, really rare. Some people call it a once-in-a-lifetime snowstorm. It will definitely be something you will never forget. Just stay safe out there. That is the overarching message from the EOC. That's the latest out here.
Well, we've been tracking the cold here recently in Tampa Bay, but how about tracking the hottest housing markets in the nation? Coming up, we'll break down the best places to find a home.
The most accurate weather team in Florida, ABC Action Weather.
Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah Personal Injury Attorneys.
All right, we're looking right now at the Rivergate Tower Tampa camera, and you can see that we do have a lot of cloud cover, really looking like a murky day out there. We've got quite a bit of rainfall as well. Most of it is pretty light, but you may get a couple of heavier downpours from time to time. 53 degrees right now in Tampa. It feels like 53, but boy, with that rainfall, it is a chilly rain. So again, we're getting some of a break here if you're around northern Hillsborough or Pinellas County. also into Polk and Hernando. Part of Citrus County are also getting a bit of a break. As you look farther to the north, you can see most of the Panhandle in North Florida is looking pretty dry until you get around Jacksonville. But again, we do have some light snow coming down in the western Panhandle at the moment, and then that's continuing through parts of Alabama into Mississippi and into Louisiana. So again, we do have that winter mix of weather that is going to continue to develop here across the southeastern states over the next 24 hours. So if you don't need to travel north anywhere out of the Tampa Bay area, that is the best thing to do here through the next 24 to 36 hours. But if you need to move south, perfectly fine. The warmer the weather, the better the conditions are going to be, where it's just going to be more typical for what we would expect in our area, meaning rainfall instead of any type of winter weather. So again, we will continue to have decent chances for rain right through the night and into early tomorrow morning, and then we'll start to see some sunshine coming through those clouds. We'll get a bit more cloud cover developing into the day tomorrow, with a chance for some more showers to develop throughout the afternoon and into the evening, but the coverage isn't going to be nearly as high as what we'll experience from time to time today. You can see this rain planner pretty much keeps rain in the forecast at any point during the day and into the overnight. And the temps right now are in the 40s.
One of the coldest cities in the U.S. is also one of the hottest housing markets in the country, according to a new analysis by Zillow. Scripps News correspondent Alex Miller looks at what the top housing markets have in common and what it means for homebuyers in the new year.
ABC Action News is sponsored by Culpeper Kirland.
Get your kids moving at the Publix Too Good for Drugs Junior Gasparilla Distance Classic on February 15th. Sign up by February 12th to get your kids registered for free. Go to rungasparilla.com for more information.
The most accurate weather team in Florida, ABC Action Weather.
All right, well, our temps right now are anywhere from the upper 40s, even mid 40s in Citrus County to the mid 50s. So definitely on the chilly side. And as you've seen, we've got quite a bit of cloud cover, and we've got that light rainfall to moderate rainfall across the area. So temps are warmest to the south and east around Sebring, Avon Park, but still it's going to be much cooler than average and chilly out there through the rest of the day as these rain showers continue off and on. Most of them pretty light, but again, we've got those yellow and orange pockets continuing to give us some times where we've got some heavier rain, but we don't have the winter weather that is developing off to our north and west. So we'll continue to have breaks from time to time, but more often than not today, we're going to see rainfall and plenty of cloud cover, keeping the temps pretty consistent all throughout the day. And then after sunset, the temps will start to fall back into the 40s. Very cold air in place overnight tonight. And the good news for us is, though, although it's going to feel below freezing tonight, and so it's very important to make sure you're protecting your pets and your plants and layer up as you head out early tomorrow morning. We aren't necessarily going to have our actual temps below freezing. Most of them will be above that. So again, we're going to continue to have a chance for some light rainfall at times tomorrow and into Thursday, even as we continue to warm up.
Two local nonprofit organizations are now teaming up at the Straz Center over the next few weeks over their shared love of music and performance. ABC Action News reporter Robert Boyd was at a rehearsal, and he has the story. With the advancement of artificial intelligence, the amount of fake information online is growing. Coming up, some tips on how to spot what's real and what's fake. And hundreds of people gave back yesterday. We'll talk about where hundreds of people in the Bay Area spent the MLK Day holiday volunteering to make our little slice of paradise better for everyone.
ABC Action News Plus is sponsored by Culpeper Kirland. Auto accident? Call Culpeper Kirland.
From Tampa Bay streaming news leader, this is ABC Action News.
Fighting for his business, the disappointment a Newport Richey camera shop owner is feeling after two men tried to steal equipment thousands of dollars worth from his store. And you might not be able to get lower rates on all your credit cards. Our consumer investigator explains the type of cards where rates will likely remain high. Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Legrone. This is ABC Action News Plus. As artificial intelligence becomes more advanced, it continues to get more difficult to know what's real when you're online. ABC Action News reporter Larissa Scott shares tips on how to spot fake information. As we've been reporting, President Donald Trump will spend the next 4 years surrounded by Floridians in his cabinet. Our Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders with the Florida impact at the White House.
The most accurate weather team in Florida, ABC Action Weather.
Sponsored by Farrah & Farrah Personal Injury Attorneys.
All right, we've got the Rivergate Tower Tampa camera right now looking over Harbor and Davis Islands, and you can see that it is quite gloomy out there. We've had a lot of cloud cover, quite a bit of rain. We're getting a break at the moment. 53 degrees is what we've got in Tampa, and the temps are pretty similar across the area, either upper 40s to mid 50s, and you can see quite a bit of rain from I-4 on south, and we've got some heavier pockets mixed in there. We're getting a little bit of a break, though, in our northern counties at the moment, and across I-4 to the north and across some of Tampa Bay. As we look well off to the north and west, you can see that we do have some winter weather, some snowfall coming into the western panhandle, as well as parts of Alabama, Mississippi, and into Louisiana. This system will continue to push south and east over the next 24 hours, and that is going to bring some of a winter mix into the northern part of the state, not necessarily in our viewing area. So if you are staying in our viewing area, I-4 to the south, it'll be cold for our standards, but not necessarily any dangerous weather. But if you are going to be north, that is where you could encounter some of that winter mix, and that's where I would be very cautious if you do have to be doing any road travel in that direction here over the next 24 hours. But you can see that we continue with just the green and the yellow colors in our area right through the day tomorrow. And then we start clearing out and drying out. We are going to have some awfully cold temps in the morning tomorrow, and then you factor in even just a little bit of wind, and it's going to be feeling well below freezing. And so again, very cold starts to the day for a few days, and we've still got chances for some rainfall coming in from the south. So today, pretty wet and dreary out there. Off and on throughout the day, the rain will get a little heavier at times, but overall, it should be pretty light, and the temps anywhere in the upper 40s to low 50s.
As the Fed drops interest rates, you might be able to get a lower rate on your credit cards, but consumer investigator Susan Elcori explains why this might not be the case if you have a store-branded card. And if you want to reach out to consumer investigator Susan Elcori, pull out your cell phone, scan the QR code on your screen. That will take you to her website, abcactionnews.com, where you can fill out a form, explain to Susan the issue you're having, and she can look into it. You'll also can contact her by email. Susan solves it at WFTS.com. When it comes to weeknight meals for the family, we know it can be hard to get something together. Coming up, our Shay Reid shares her recipe.
The most accurate weather team in Florida, ABC Action Weather.
All right, we've got the Mainsail Beach Inn on Anna Maria Island, and you can see right now it is really cloudy and pretty murky out there. Certainly not looking like one of our more beautiful days, but we do have temps that are ranging anywhere in the 50s. If you are around I-4 to the south, we've got the upper 40s to the north. The temps are going to hover somewhere in the low to mid 50s for much of the day, and the rain showers are primarily to the south. Now, the weather could be much worse if we were any farther to the north. So it looks like we are really in one of the best case scenarios here as far as this frontal system coming through and giving us just rainfall. Now, granted, the temps are going to be really cold, and it's going to be a bit nasty with the rainfall coming through. But again, we've got a winter mix in the western panhandle and into other parts of the southeast here over the next 24 hours, but it is going to stop short of our area. So if you are from Citrus County on north, we're looking at rainfall, but very cold rain coming in off and on through the day tomorrow, as well as through tonight. So temps are going to just hover here in the 50s, and then we'll start to fall into the 40s overnight. It's going to be feeling like we're in the 20s, though, mid-20s tomorrow morning, anywhere from overnight to about 10 o'clock. So make sure you're protecting your plants and your pets, and then through the afternoon, we'll rebound into the 50s again.
It's go time. Register now for the Publix Gasparilla Distance Classic.
Well, when it comes to those weeknight meals for the entire family, quick, easy, delicious, and nutritious are often what we hope for but don't always get. This week, Shay has a recipe that just might deliver it all for your dinner table.
I'm still in a state of shock about it. I don't really know how to process this right now. He was everything to me.
A daughter mourns her father who was hit and killed while crossing a busy Palm Harbor road. The safety changes she is now calling for and her request from the community. And Donald Trump was officially sworn in yesterday as the 47th president of the United States. We'll tell you what he got done in a very busy first day in office.